and shape the future of our country. Our contributions to business, to governance, education, healthcare, and the sciences are invaluable. And as a nation, we owe it to ourselves to create an ecosystem where everyone can thrive without imposed limitations. Over the years, we have made significant strides in advancing gender equality and empowering women. Under our current leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we have taken bold steps and remain dedicated to ensuring that women have the opportunities, resources, and the support needed to excel. Some of the key initiatives include the establishment of the Women's Development Fund to provide financial support to women entrepreneurs, ensuring that we have the capital and other forms of support to take action, expand our businesses, affirmative actions to increase the representation of women in leadership and governance, paving the way for more women to take their rightful places at decision-making tables. These ideas mark progress, but we know that the journey towards true equality is far from over. Women still face challenges along all spheres of life, but with the increase in representation, we will hold the door for many women to pass through to achieve their full potential. We all must do better to support the women of Ghana. As we celebrate this day, let us reaffirm our collective commitment to building a Ghana where every woman and girl has the freedom to dream, the power to achieve, and the support to excel. Empowering women is not just a women's issue. It is a national imperative. When women thrive, families, communities, nations prosper. Let us accelerate action for our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, and for the future of our great nation. A happy International Women's Day to all of us. Let us continue to accelerate action. Some markets, business a woman, and I'm a man to but the business in shake ya. Ma, Jumana and Mokodo. What was that? China. Maybe I must say dollar cost. Yes, we are $100 Wakana. I had this city. Missing Mama, me who Namu Namka said, yes, you mean to about that. Oh, no one was Mamma 7. After waiting, I'm to Abaman, me person black. Into your pamucho. In Ghana, our prices are lost because of the dollar. It's never to me, yes, stable. Remember, yes, your price now, now the local markets, the consumers interest in the action. I've been problems in the face. Yeah, my first problem this year means me brand to make one out this year. What is the problem? The problem was the price has increased. It was 1,350, but now it is 1,750. Just 3 weeks. Just 3 weeks? Yes. From 1,350? Yes, 2,750. 2,750. So I was returning back. Because wow. The price I gave it to them over there, and now that it has increased about double, I can't afford it. Good. Good to see you. That's it.
That in 2020, the BOG supported government with a 37 billion overdraft, and not the rate or the amount my colleague on the other side stated, So, Mr. Speaker, we are not shying away from the fact that BOG supported government in 2022. In 2017, when the banks went into solvency, Bank of Ghana, Government of Ghana came to support Bank of Ghana with about 20 to 25 billion to enable them address that issue. So, Mr. Speaker, if today the Ministry of Finance, the government through the Ministry of Finance also needs support, I don't see why we shouldn't do the same. And Mr. Speaker, beyond that, as part of the measures to streamline and help us guide our macroeconomic stability, we have an MOU with BOG not to finance government anymore. So, Mr. Speaker, that is that. Again, I also want to address the issue of the 0.8 months import cover. When you look at the definition of import cover from IMF and you look at the definition of import cover from Bank of Ghana, they are two different things. This is also size and data. When you get onto the IMF webpage, look for the Ghana program, page 3. It is right there. And let me read, Mr. Speaker, with your permission. It says that program definition for the IMF for our reserves excludes oil funds, encumbered funds, and pledged assets. For the BOG, the the international reserves includes oil funds, encumbered funds, and pledged funds. So that is the difference. That is the difference. Mr. Speaker, I also want to go to address certain things that my colleague said on the other side concerning the loss of 60.8 billion that was stated in the BOG financial statement. Mr. Speaker, every statement, every amount on any financial statement comes with notes. So when you are giving the public information on that, you should read the notes and make sure you tell it as it is in the notes. Mr. Speaker, in the notes, I just want to let us know that yes, BOG incurred a loss of 60.8 billion. And we ask ourselves, what is driving this? Mr. Speaker, in the first place, the domestic debt exchange that we embarked on last year, you all agree with me that with a principle for other consumers, there was no haircut on the principal. But with BOG took a 50% haircut on the principal of the domestic debt exchange. And that alone amounted to 32.3 billion Ghana cedis, Mr. Speaker. So when you take that out of the 60.8, Mr. Speaker, I'm coming. I'll give you the breakdown for you to know why there was a loss of 60.8. Mr. Speaker, beyond the 50% principal haircut, there was also a marketable instrument of 16.1 billion that BOG had to take a hit on. And finally, with the adjustment of the cocoa bonds too, there was a loss of 4.7. So when you put all this together, you get 53.1 billion. So 53.1 billion out of the 60.8 billion is what, through Government of Ghana, through the DGEP, caused that loss. Beyond that, BOG itself saw a loss in interest expense to the tune of 3.3 billion, and also there was exchange rate valuation of 5.2 billion. So that is the total of the 60.8 billion, Mr. Speaker, and that comes with a note to the financing. Mr. Speaker, beyond that, we are asking ourselves, will BOG be able to remain policy solvent and discharge its mandate effectively? Yes. This is not the first time. This is not the first time that a central bank across the world has experienced this. Mr. Speaker, let me let you know that between 2002 and 2013, due to valuation write-downs on sizable foreign currency reserves, the Czech bank reported negative equity. Germany, the Bundesbank was also technically over-leveraged in the early 1970s because of losses that exceeded its equity. Again, between 2002 and 2021, some 10 out of 32 emerging market economies and small economies have also experienced this. So we ask ourselves, this is not anything new, but in the situation in which we found ourselves, BOG had to come in and support government. And let me also compare Ghana to other central banks that also experienced losses in 2022. Mr. Speaker, currently as we speak, the Reserve Bank of Australia also recorded a 37 billion Australian dollars loss. The UK bank, currently as we speak, Mr. Speaker, this is current, on the 25th of July, the Financial Times reported that it faces a 150 billion loss at the Bank of England. Mr. Speaker, this is not Ghana cedis. This is not US dollars. This is 150 billion pounds. Mr. Speaker, the Swiss National Bank also experienced a loss of 132 billion francs. And in September, Mr. Speaker, the Netherlands Bank has also notified the country's government that potentially it is going to also experience a loss of about 9 billion from 2023 to 2026. The most important thing we should be asking ourselves, will BOG remain policy solvent and be able to discharge its mandate effectively? Yes, Mr. Speaker, they have put measures in place. There's a 4-year plan to make sure they build back that capital and continue to support the government. That is important. It is not okay to sit here and run down your government. This is where we belong. This is where we are. And together, we will win. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that we have seen a turnaround. This is because December 2022, we all saw what happened. Inflation had gone up, and even in November, the cedi had depreciated against the major foreign currencies by 54.1%. And things were really there. But as we speak now, Mr. Speaker, we have been able to stem the tide. Because of the PCPED program that we have put in place. And the objectives of the program, Mr. Speaker, first is to make sure we stabilize the macroeconomic stability. We stabilize the macroeconomics. We try as much as possible to bring our debt to a sustainable level. And also, all of us here, including the children here, to make sure government continues to support the education, the health sector, and make sure that nobody is left behind. Mr. Speaker, this is what has caused that turnaround, and we are hoping that by the end of the year, we will be able to do more, and together we will have a story to tell. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Mr. Speaker, again, the argument made by Honorable Dr. Kesiel Atuforsen, aka Atuforsen, that the central bank is virtually collapsing the economy, Mr. Speaker, is neither here nor there. Mr. Speaker, worldwide, world economies are struggling. He knows that as an economist. The economist in him will admit this, but the NDC partisanship in him will make him deny this. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of England, Reuters is reporting that Bank of England is going to post $100 billion losses. Bank of England, where Atuforsen had his education. Why would he single out the finance minister as though Ghana is an island? Ghana is not an island. Why would you want to deny the fact that the Ukraine-Russia war has affected the world economy? Why would you want to deny the fact that this
Honorable Afenyo Markins, please conclude. Honorable Leader, honorable members, please. We've taken so much time on this, please. Leader, just conclude for us. You are left with 2 minutes. Leader, 2 minutes. Honorable members, please, let's give him the audience.
Mr. Speaker, in the Finance Minister's submission before us, he also indicated one of the struggles of the economy, the energy sector contract, the IPPs. Mr. Speaker, it is not only government that is complaining about the contract, but our international partners have also complained. And what have they said? They have said to us that the NDC government poorly negotiated these contracts. These deals, take or pay, has had adverse effect on the economy. And the same Atu-Forson criticizing Ken Ofori-Atta was the Deputy Finance Minister at the Finance Ministry. You are saying that you're the one who signed. Say it into the mic. So you're not part of the NDC government, but you are part of the government. You, as a Deputy Finance Minister, you are paying the IPCs. And what is happening is that because of lack of sufficient competence at the time by your team of negotiators, by the managers of the economy, you've cost us so much money. You didn't understand the energy deals you are signing. You didn't understand. Your economic management team lacked the competence to properly negotiate these contracts. You couldn't negotiate well. And today it's costing the nation a fortune. These monies could have been spent on infrastructure. In spite of all that,
Honorable members,
in spite of all that, we have managed to run this economy. And we don't have to do so. Mr. Speaker, with this, I would want to thank you for the opportunity and thank my colleagues and say that the NDC has nothing new to offer. It's made up of the same old stock led by Atu-Forson in this chamber. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Honorable members, before we give...
You see, the deputy leader just gave their woman an opportunity to talk, and they are still talking. If not because of the comment made by the deputy leader, the woman, the member of parliament for Pusiga, wouldn't have spoken. It's a statement of fact that none of the women on your side spoke. That's a statement of fact. We had 3 of our women speaking. So what's the problem? He has withdrawn it, and he has given her an opportunity to speak. Rather than that, you wouldn't have said anything. You didn't have the courage to tell your leaders to give you the opportunity to talk.
Comments, especially when it comes to names like Ken Ofori-Atta, Dr. Bawumia, Alan Chamati, and so on. And I am not surprised that they would shiver at the mention of these names, because these people have contributed a lot to the economy as we speak. And in any case, Mr. Speaker, in any case, if you want to compare the economy of the past government to President Akufo-Addo's government, today's government, Mr. Speaker, I would just pick 2 areas. Industry was growing at 1% in 2015, around the same time as we speak, whilst industry today is growing at 3%. Mr. Speaker, even in the face of COVID and Russia, Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, even agriculture, that was growing negatively in their time, today is having a positive sign in 2022. So it tells a certain story. Mr. Speaker, if you give these 2 parties or these 2 governments opportunity to rule Ghana, one of them have the propensity to push this country forward better than the other. And of course, certainly the one that is going to push the country forward would not be them, but it will be us. Mr. Speaker, this budget, this review, what I picked from the information that the finance minister provided was the fact that the government of President Akufo-Addo intends to create jobs for the people of Ghana. As we speak, that is what we need to do as a country. And if you consider the fact that in bringing 1D, 1F, this country can boast of close to 300 companies, some of which are at various stages of construction. And out of this 100 and so of these companies, about over 160,000 people are working. It tells you that if 1D, 1F Yes.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I have an application to make. Mr. Speaker.
Our estimated budget for the 2023 African Cup of Nations tournament was $8,506,450 United States dollars. And this was to cater for the pre-tournament stages, that is our pre-campaign stages, the tournament phase, that's the group stages, and also the 1/16 stage, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the finals. If we have gone through all the stages up to finals, Mr. Speaker, Ghana, the estimated budget would have been $8,506,450 United States dollars. Out of this amount, an amount of $5,070,840.36 United States dollars was released by the Ministry of Finance, of which $3,070,067.81 was spent on the team pre-campaign in Kumasi, that is buying flight tickets for all our team players and technical team from their base to Ghana, and also taking them to Kumasi, and also making sure that their per diems are paid, the flight arrangements for the team, medicals, equipment, and logistics, hospitality. This resulted in a surplus of $2,177,000.55 after our early exit from the tournament.
This is basically an economic garbage, this budget. It does not inspire anyone. There is nothing in here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you the external debt that we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, we owe the Chinese 1.9 billion, which we are not paying. We owe the Paris Club 2 billion, which we are not paying. We owe the Paris Club 3.8 billion, which we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, we owe Templeton 2.5 billion, which we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, with multilateral debt, we owe 8.8. Ghana is not the highest when it comes to multilateral debt in Africa. We owe the most, 8.8 billion, and we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, Eurobond, which my friend mentioned. My worst fears were confirmed. Listening to the Minister of Finance and perusing the documents submitted to us, indeed, I would encourage members that the budget statement presented here doesn't give you the full picture. You ought to go and look at the detailed budget statement, which has the appendices, because the appendices that speaks to the figures. There's been a claim that we are in this mess, we are in this quagmire, we are in these unprecedented difficult times because of a so-called COVID-Ukraine war. Mr. Speaker, I just want to provide some data, and my cutoff point is 2019, so that we'll know whether indeed we're on the right path or on the wrong path before COVID. Mr. Speaker, before we left office, in 2016, the depreciation of the cedi was around 7%. In 2019, the cedi depreciated by about 13%. Hey, double. This is a fact. It's in the budget.
95%.
Debt to GDP ratio was about 56%. By 2019, it had ballooned to 63%. Hey. The deficit had increased. That's the overall deficit, to 7%. Credit to private sector had reduced to about 4%. The construction sector was in the negative. Gross fixed capital formation, and that is the basic issue when it comes to economic development. If you don't increase the capital base of your economy, and you spend so much on goods and services, you are going to witness a downturn when you face headwinds. We spend double what this government spent during President Mohammed's time on infrastructure. Eurobond alone, Eurobond, you borrowed about 4 times what President Mohammed borrowed. And so to come and tell us that we are in this quagmire because of a so-called Ukraine-Russia war, the facts does not speak to that. And these are facts. Look, these are not opinions. I'm giving you factual information from the budget, from the Bank of Ghana, and from the IMF documents. And instead of you to learn from your mistake, listen to us and pick up, you are still on this tangent of Russia, Ukraine, COVID, Russia, Ukraine, COVID. If you don't appreciate the problem, you can never find a solution.
You are too proud to listen.
Look, Mr. Speaker, from where we are going, I will not be surprised if during the main budget we move away or inclusive of COVID and Russia, Ukraine, they add Niger. The conflict in Niger is also contributing to the problems of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, because of these bad policies of your government, the Korean government says that they no longer would advance the $1 billion facility to us. Mr. Speaker, I'm not surprised that a majority leader is running away. What the MPP fear in this world is facts. When they are faced with facts, incontrovertible evidence, they disappear.
Habib is also running away.
But I'm not surprised at all. Mr. Speaker, and instead of this man, our finance minister, to eat the humble pie and take our suggestions, he came here. And you know what he's telling us? That he has turned the corner. What corner have you turned?
He doesn't even know where the corner is.
Mr. Speaker, what corner have you turned? Let me give you some evidence as well. And when you are doing comparison, and I'm happy some of my colleagues are here, you do industry standard comparison. You compare yourself with your peers. So I've taken sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa, for the year 2023, the average growth rate will be 3.6%. Do you know what Ghana projects to do? Ghana projects that our growth rate will be 1.5%.
Hey, 40%.
That's because inflation. And inflation is a key indicator. Because what inflation does is that it eats your purchasing power. So if the rate of inflation keeps going high, it means that receiving the same amount, you can no longer buy what you do. And so you can see school children here. If you give them 1 CD to go to school every day, and the rate of inflation year on year is 30%, it means that whatever they were buying, and school children, we are teaching you economics in this chamber. That is what we are doing.
Yeah.
This is what I call economics made easy. Your 1 CD, if you used to buy Fan Yogo 1, next time you go, the owner of the Fan Yogo will check 30% of it, cut it off, and give you just about half.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are 2 types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana, and today, the 10th of March 2025, we thank God for giving us yet another day to go through the issues of the day. Well, it's still Ghana month, and we hope that you're celebrating the country, making sure that every activity that you engage yourself in, you are contributing to the national development. Let's go on to the headlines of the newspapers today. And we start off with the Daily Graphic, and it says, President Mahama begins visit to Alliance of Sahel States, makes first stop in Mali. Remember that we've actually appointed a minister to these countries, the countries who are being ruled by the military through coup. Amenfiman Bank unveils 500 million Ghana cedis collateral-free loan package for MSMEs. Close down cement factories producing substandard products. Trade Minister authorizes GSA. 2025 budget tomorrow aims to address hope aspirations of citizenry. Ghanaian Times. Groundbreaking research in Bruley ulcer. KNUST invents diagnostic tool, first of its kind to sub-Saharan Africa. Go we. Education Minister calls on Indonesia to establish Islamic Medical University in northern Ghana. President embarks on good neighborliness trips. And then we also have Mr. Simpson Margie here. Ghana open for business, a new dawn for investment, economic prosperity. Daily Guide. Ghana Mali forge stronger trade ties. Afenyo Markin eulogizes JB Dankwa. NSA ghost names. NIB detains Gift Owari Mensah. Well, by yesterday she was released. GRA intercepts 20.6 million Ghana cedis illicit cigarettes tapentadol in NR, that's northern region. Wow, tapentadol in northern region. So the caption says that the illicit cigarettes and tapentadol being offloaded from a truck. Election petition against Techiman South MP dismissed. The New Crusading Guide. MP warns Parliament over reckless private travel arrangements for President. Coca admonishes media, stay united for the task ahead. Omanhene of Awoin 6 others to face prosecution over 2022 chieftaincy killings. Albright Foundation applauds government initiative to provide 5 sanitary pads, or free sanitary pads. Okay. The SkyTrain saga, wild goose chase. NPP loyal ladies gets new president. Ken Ofori-Atta versus John Mahama led government, a simple breakdown. Ken Ofori-Atta versus John Mahama's led government, a simple breakdown. And the New Crusading Guide has given you the breakdown. You may want to grab a copy of the paper and do justice to yourself. The Insight newspaper, declassified U.S. documents revealed the CIA orchestrated Nkrumah's removal. Mahama. Declassified U.S. documents reveal the CIA orchestrated Nkrumah's removal. Mahama. NPP group blasts Akufo-Addo for heavily funding National Cathedral Hall over railways. Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana urges Sahel States Alliance to rejoin ECOWAS. And we're told that the president is making another trip to Burkina Faso today. Let's see how their talks will go, if he's also in talks with them to rejoin ECOWAS. What are the possibilities for peace in war-torn Ukraine? Apologize and retract, or I will expose how we lost 2024 elections. NPP MP warns party over reports. The Daily Statesman, SkyTrain saga is wild goose chase. Baumia women's contribution to development invaluable. Women's contribution to development invaluable. Ghana's democracy owes JB Dankwa. NPP eulogizes his influence on Fourth Republic. Bisa, youth appeal to Otumfuo over Boko crisis. The Herald. Asante Bedie Tool returns home on chartered flight after 7 months medical treatment abroad. The Fourth Estate links Menchia Palace, others to illegal mining. Ghana Gas gets female managing director. Ex-president staffers questions continuous stay of Akufo-Addo's appointees, claim they are facilitating dirty things for Mahama's government. Finance Minister engages Makola traders ahead of 2025 budget presentation. Transport Minister DVLA boards study Rwanda's Okada system. The Informer. On IWD celebration, Mahama Bawumia called for equality, respect for women. Imani urges support for OSP to effectively fight corruption. Corruption fight, time for concrete action, not words. NPP guru admonishes Mahama. And the top right corner says that towards economic recovery, Ghanaians express optimism in 2025 budget report. NDC boils over CEO's rejection of PROs. The Ghanaian publisher. Minority leader cautions NPP against division. Akufo-Addo defends JB Dankwa's legacy. Meets Honorable Abinal Say Asare, first female chairperson of PAC. Well, let me just announce to you that you're going to meet her, God willing, next week on the platform after the budget has been read. Algalga in Team Forjo, lead Defense and Interior Committee, the custodian. NPP will bounce back. Afenyo Markin gives hope to party supporters. Parliament picks leaders of committee. The Dalai Lama to receive Gold Mercury Award 2025 today. Dumso torments Mahama's government. Daily Post. International Women's Day. Mago calls for collective commitments to accelerate the growth of women entrepreneurs in Ghana. Mahama champions collaboration trade during Bamako visit. At the top right corner says that Joint Forestry Commission military operation seized 10 excavators, 1 bulldozer in Tunnel or Wing Forest Reserve, Enchi Forest District. Let's go on to the Searchlight says that Giftawari detained by NIB over NSA payroll fraud, land grab. President Mahama IGP urged to intervene in agenda disputes. IGP pays last respect to late mother-in-law at Vakpo Toji. 10 injured by gunfire during installation of chief at Achim and Namase. I think that situation, I don't know, is beginning to get out of hand, where there are cultural and chieftaincy events, and I think there are people who handle the so-called guns and handle them in a way they should not. Sometimes they even end up killing people. I think authorities must look into that space and see how we can do to protect lives. So BNFT says that SOEs, JVCS targeted for urgent reforms, domestic fruit juice beverage sector on brink of collapse as 20% excise duty takes toll. Ghana is open for business, a new dawn for investments and economic prosperity. Push decisive action on targeted economic reforms. We also have in the news, broaden tax burden fairly to boost revenue. In the feature, beyond rhetoric. Okay, this is not readable. I can't really see it properly. But let's take a breather for now, and then we'll come back to the guests and start talking.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh bread.
I'm a fat missy way.
Prepacho bantama.
Machasi.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me Jidisa we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
Guys, Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa. Kile kosen. Cal 360 did the way. Its cool mint gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see feeling when you Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Fire pomudin ya gubi. Kana fueni aji. If you say ya your local spices na ya fra dia ya sankofa natural spice.
Me de go me jollof fumu. Ni mi sti wa hodoma. E ma ne dance.
Stanley, the barbecue they go on.
See sankofa natural spices. And one you use 100% natural. Said the yepen.
Adofo, mamu huge mistake. Sankofa natural spices. The
FDA ejedi nkratu yatu.
Look around.
Home also need a makeover.
Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashfoam store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashfoam, feel it, know it.
You the answer to my prayers. You with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Fire pomudin ya gubi. Kana fueni aji. If you say ya your local spices na ya fra dia ya sankofa natural spice.
Me de go me jollof fumu. Ni mi sti wa hodoma. E ma ne dance.
Stanley, the barbecue they go on.
See sankofa natural spices. And one you use 100% natural. Said the yepen.
Adofo, mamu huge mistake. Sankofa natural spices. The
FDA ejedi nkratu yatu.
Hello, my friends. My name is Cal Kids Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Cal Kids. Happy smile.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Women of Ghana.
All right, welcome to the program. And in the name, I just would always have to remind viewers that in the name of Chapter 6 of the 1992 Constitution, that's the direct principles of state policy, we all join in having a say of national policies. And that is why every morning we want to make morning, afternoon, evening, depending on what program you're hosting. We have to make time to discuss the issue. So you're welcome back to the program. This morning we're having Kosua Menu, who is a member of the NPP, former Deputy CEO for the National Youth Authority, and also the 2024 Adentan parliamentary candidate for the NPP as well. It's been a while. Kosua, you're welcome. Good morning to you. Good morning. Where have you been? After elections, like you went hibernation. I don't know.
Not true. I actually was active.
Active where? Okay.
Hibernating is not... I'm here, haven't traveled.
The correct situation you found yourself?
Oh, observing. I was taking notice of the happenings, hoping some of the things that happened wouldn't happen, and it's still happening as we speak. But we thank God for life. We thank God for where we are at, And being the MPP, we understand that opposition is part of the government architecture. So in opposition, we play our role and play it well.
Okay. Play your role and you play it well. Okay. Professor Grace Ayensu Dankwa is also with me. She's a medical doctor and also a member of parliament for the Esikado Keaton constituency. Prof, you're welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You've also been, making a statements, one or two in the House. We've been observing. I think I have about 2 recordings of them. Yeah, my team has it.
Thank
Just
you.
In case you don't know.
And good morning to you and to your audience. And more importantly, good morning to my constituents of Esikado Keaton constituency. If I can beg you to speak a little bit of Fanti. Michia wanyana nyankopon nhia nyina nyankopon omoye nyina kokudroni ntumi yako ekopa na yerokun na Esikado Keaton constituency on fan tampa on from. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Yeah, in Parliament it's been interesting. I went there to try to contribute my quota to help my constituency and the nation. And so by His grace, I won my election and I'm there. So my job is to really contribute to the quota. More importantly, to make sure that President Mahama's agenda, which is resetting the country, has been set in place, in motion, and then we have to see it through fruition. So we are serious. We listen to the people of Ghana. 1.7 million extra people voted for us. He won with a margin of 1.7 million. So there's a lot of expectations. And so our job is to make sure that we have really brought his ideas, the stuff we said in the manifesto, his promises, to fruition so that Ghanaians will benefit. And so far, I think that he's on the right path. Things are heading the right direction. As you know, tomorrow they will read the budget, and then we'll take it from there. But for now, I think that everything he has done is actually exactly what we asked for. So I'm happy, I'm blessed to be a part of his government, and I'm blessed to also have the opportunity to be in a position where I'm a role model, as well as helping other young children. As you know, yesterday was International Women's Day. So I'm really privileged, humbled, and excited about the next 4 years.
The statement you made on the floor of Parliament regarding the health conditions and the health setup of Parliament, have you followed up or followed through to make sure that maybe something is established so that it protects the lives of Parliament and those who also visit the August House?
Yes, the statement was for Parliament, but it also cuts across the rest of the country in terms of emergency services, in terms of maybe AEDs in public places. As you know, we don't have a budget yet. So I do have a proposal that would be brought after the budget to the ministry, and we'll see how best we can to ensure that emergency services are really taken care of, especially the first responder aspect of it, which is the non-medical person that chances on someone who's having a medical emergency. So I have a proposal. It will be brought to the health committee when the committee starts. And I'm very excited.
Will it be discussed at the health committee level before it comes to plenary, or what exactly is going on?
It depends. I'm just waiting for the budget now. Right now, everything is relying on the budget, because as you know, the budget that we are working on right now is the previous government's budget. So as of tomorrow, we would know what is in the budget, what has been put for the health, for all the various sectors. And then from there, we can start writing policies. And also, you know, I was a big part of the manifesto committee for health, for the NDC manifesto, which was about a 2-year document. So there's a lot in it, and there's a lot of things we have to do. So like everything else, we're waiting for the budget tomorrow, and we'll see how best we can effect some of Mahama's policies and some of the promises we made to the good people of Ghana.
All right, let's focus on women. I'm just using some minutes to focus on women because it's a women gathered program, and I want to say a very congratulations to all women in Ghana, and well done, especially the market women. The market women, I believe, are the richest.
I know, right?
Amongst us. Thank you for all supporting, Ghana. And also, some are farmers, some are wives to farmers. They support their husbands. Some also go into the farms themselves, their own businesses, big ones, huge ones, and contribute to the economy of Ghana. Those who live outside and are doing all kinds of jobs, bringing in revenue that government of Ghana is also benefiting. Congratulations to all of you, and we thank you. We just say thank you. Let me just get you into it practically. I'll start with you, with your constituency. What exactly has become, because you have a typical problem with girls, young girls coming up, and how we've had occasionally been recording reports of how girls are being abused by men because they don't have money to even buy sanitary pads. Just very basic things that girls need. And then also growing up women, how do they contribute to your constituency?
I think it's a huge part of my constituency because when you look at the population dynamics in Isikaduketan, women are the majority. And I think like everywhere else, even in the country, women are the majority. But what you find is that we're not included. And like you said, the market women have money, but that is the informal sector. So because it's so informal, then all that means is that they don't have documentation to say that I am Madam such and such with a shop here. So that means that they've been locked also out of the financial markets in terms of their access to loans and access to other aid that can help them with their businesses. So for me, as a first woman to be the MP for Isikaduketan constituency, yes, it's and also the first woman in the, I believe, the metropolitan area in the Western region. It is very interesting to me because not only do I have a lot of requests, not just from my constituency, but from the other 5 constituencies, the other 4 constituencies in the metro. So for me, I truly believe that as the first woman, I have to leave a legacy. And that legacy would be, how best do I help the women? So I've already started like a microloan program called Obatanpa Microloans that we give to market women, and we give to I have the ocean front. So I have fish processing women who work, process the fish after the fishermen bring it. So I've been giving them loans already. So I'm hoping and praying that President Mahama...
When did it start?
It started sometime in 2019, 2020.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I've continued.
Okay.
So what I'm hoping is that President Mahama will also start, or when the Women's Bank will start, because the Women's Bank is a vehicle that President Mahama is going to bring loans or interest-free loans to market women and people who are entrepreneurial women and women who are in the informal sector to boost up their businesses. So I'm waiting for the Women's Bank to see what is in the budget for it and see how best we can incorporate it into the Obatampa micro scheme. Of course, the Obatampa micro scheme loan is an interest-free vehicle that I give to my market women. And I also try as best as I can to help them. Like sometime last week, I gave the women that do, when you talk about fish processing, they dry the fish and they put the salt in it, like momoy and kobe and those kind of fish, which is the dry stock fish. So I bought like salt, and I gave all my fish processing women within the constituency salt, just so that it can defray the cost of how much it costs to really produce the fish. So I'm really into the grassroots. I'm really into the women in my constituency. I believe that if I don't do anything else and I'm able to really uplift the women in the constituency, I would have done what it is I came here to do, which is to help the women in my constituency. The girls are even more important because they are also learning from us. They are looking at us. We talked about the sanitary pad thing, so tomorrow we'll hear what the vehicle and the processes under which we can provide free sanitary pads to the girls. We've already started again in my constituency. I try to provide free sanitary pads to almost all the secondary school, and sometimes I go down to the SHS and some of the JHS girls. So I'm just hoping when this is nationalized or it's institutionalized, I think it makes it more easy to access it, and also we can reach more people. So tomorrow is a great day for Ghana. We are all waiting to see what is in the budget and how best those of us in the what other things we can bring out of the budget into the constituencies to really support our women and girls. I also try to be a mentor to them by going to the schools, actually the secondary schools, and really talk to the girls. So
some who are suffering what we've been reporting on a daily basis in the news normally are not, or they don't find themselves in schools.
Yes.
Some are school dropouts, some just don't have the money to even be in schools, and they do all kinds of things just to put body and soul together. So they are like a critical part of the economy. And we've seen, I personally have seen recent videos of the youth engaging in drug abuse. And I think it's even more serious than what we knew about weed, cocaine, and the rest. This one,
thank you.
It's strange.
Yes,
it's strange. I mean, when you watch a video, sometimes you don't know if you should laugh or you should cry or what exactly is happening to a whole human being who's taking some drug. And so if you come into a constituency like yours that is really overpopulated with young people, you can imagine how it is likely that they will be swayed, onto that path.
And I have a lot of ghettos in my constituency, especially around the beach communities, and I go into the ghetto. When I say I go into the ghetto, I go into parts that people don't go. And I know just about all the boys in the ghetto, only because I want to know what it is they're doing. I want to know what's going on with them, so that when I'm trying to help them, I'm helping them from an informed position. It's not what somebody told me. And this drug menace is a big problem in the ghettos. It is so bad. And you see, when you see them and you're watching the videos and they're like standing like statues and things, it's called catatonia. So they're catatonic because they're taking antidepressants mixed with muscle relaxant, mixed with opioids, which is a sedative. So they're like statues. You know, back in the day, it was either they're smoking weed or they're taking cocaine. So even as medical doctors, we could tell. When I look in a person's eyes, I can tell by the pupils whether it's dilated or it's constricted. Now they're mixing so many drugs, you can't tell which is which. And it's causing a lot of problems. People are being maimed and children are dying, or youth are dying from this menace. As you saw the BBC program, there's a company that's actually importing these things to Ghana. And not only through Ghana, but Ghana is slowly becoming a transit point. Yesterday, I read a whole article by Bright Simmons, who was now going back to look into who are these companies, who are those in Ghana producing it, and what are some of the import documentation, so that he can trace exactly where it's coming from. And of course, it's an illegal market, so it's very murky. So it's like there's a shadow company that covers another shadow company, and you can't really get to who is actually the culprit and who's bringing this stuff in. So it looks like it's high level. It looks like it is a mafia. It looks like there's a lot of money involved. So it's going to be very difficult to even pinpoint who the individuals are. But I think that now that our attention has been brought to it and it has become a national issue, I truly believe that we need to stop it. It's illegal and it is maiming our youth. It is so bad, Annie. Sometimes you go there and you cry. And you see mothers looking for their kids who are missing. And some of them stay in those ghettos for like 5 years and they never even come out of the ghetto to even see sunlight. So it's a public health problem, and it's also quickly going to become a big security issue for us in Ghana. So I'm hoping that, of course, now we just put our ministers together, that something will be actively done about it, especially the importation of those drugs. The FDA should really watch who's bringing the ports, should look at who are those people importing these medicines. And even the medicines that they're importing, they are not prescription strength. It is like beyond prescription strength. These are medicines that are never, even as physicians or, surgeons are the ones who prescribe the highest dose of pain medicine, because usually the person has an operation and it is a cut or something that we did on the person. So we prescribe the highest form of prescriptions in terms of pain medicine. Even the doses that we prescribe are much, much less, sometimes 10 times less than the doses they are giving these kids on the street. So this is completely illegal.
Okay, so we have a program on Good Afternoon Ghana subsequently today, and we probably will engage you medically so that you tell us more about that, because that is a whole issue altogether. And we'll be dealing with that on Good Afternoon Ghana later on, so you can join that as well. Let me come to Akosia on the issue of the women and children.
Happy International Women's Day. And for at least for me, I'm happy to see that the annual celebration has gained some momentum with even men organizing programs and honoring women. On Saturday, I had the benefit of being invited or being honored amongst 50 very accomplished women on an evening of, fine dining and taking up courses. Euphoria, that's the name of the, I'll call them an NGO. And the course was to empower young girls and train them in various fields, from catering to dressmaking, meaningful work that they can use to earn a keep and take themselves out of impoverished areas. I'm also particularly happy to see that more women are helping women in a way that's in championing others in a very decent and very empowering way, lending platforms to one another. I saw over the weekend Nanaba Namwa she was in France with Women of Valor, and this is something she has started locally, but for her to break boundaries and even organize it in another country, and to see the participation and the women that she was able to bring on board, I found it very, it was comforting to see that. And it's humbling always to realize as a woman that there are other women who support them in any field or endeavor. There's still issues. I mean, the theme this year was 68 years of liberty, women pioneers in a free Ghana. At least for Ghana, that was what I saw the broad theme was. And also looking at systemic barriers as far as setting biases are concerned in the professional and personal lives of women. Come to the politics, women get slammed and labeled with all sorts, and all sorts are said of them even by their own peers. So moving forward, even though we want to see the celebration move on, I also want to see clear goals. So having been an attempted MP, as I said here, I know firsthand the challenges, raising funding to meet up during campaigning, and given how very, very heavily monetized the political quote-unquote economy is as far as campaigns are concerned. There are women who can champion causes, but ultimately one of the top three strengths of any politician is the ability to fundraise. And if you can't, then it means you are cut off, but it also doesn't necessarily take you off as a leader. But I feel moving forward, and we had this discussion on another media platform on Saturday on, as far as representation is concerned, creating, similar to what happened in the past with assigning certain seats as far as representation on both sides of the aisle, even to minority parties, that this is your quota field, women. And we see the impact women bring in communities. At least she's highlighted her impacts in her constituency and what she's done over the years. And you mentioned how rich market women are. And interestingly, you would find out that they are the least defaulters when it comes to accessing loans. I gave support to women in the markets in Adenta, for instance, and the feedback I get with them paying timely, others having access to it, it lends credence to the fact that when you support women with a little, they can go a long way to make it, much more than they even envisioned. Economic inequality still exists. If not even in Ghana, across the country, women are offered less pay than men in the same field. It's still happening. There are still social challenges, but I want to see us have clear goals. Even in Ghana, what will be the broad-based goal for women as far as celebrating this day? What do we want to see? Affirmative Action Bill was passed. We were all excited about it. Now who's going to ensure that there will be gender equity across? Who's going to ensure that the tokenism of giving positions to women on boards, the one or two provisions made would increase beyond that. So we've done well. We can do better. Let's be intentional with the goals, and let's ensure that we continue to support each other in a decent, in a very uplifting and empowering way, and to hold one another's hands, irrespective of where we belong. Appreciate what we bring to the table. You sit here, you empower others just by lending your voice to what ills are in the society, what issues on both sides are happening, devoid of your personal interests, I would want to believe. And we hope that it continues in every space we find ourselves in. Ultimately, we put our best foot forward. And for the women who have the opportunity to be in power right now, power, I said it all the time, power for me meant service. For you to help others, open the door for others, uplift others, connect people to opportunities the best way you can. Even if you do not have all the opportunities or you do not have the position to do so, the little you can, do the best to influence and impact someone's life. So Women's Day, the momentum is built, at least over the last 8 years, has been much more than we've seen over the last 50 years. Because it's been around for 50 years, but we do remember International Women's Day 10 years ago or 15 years ago in terms of the multiple platforms and activities happening. So let's continue to build momentum, encourage one another, and forge ahead.
All right. Okay, so let's go on to things of government and economy. There's so much happening, of course, maybe after elections, there's always so much happening where the new government decides the people it wants to work with and therefore makes appointments, where we go to parliament and there's so much happening with parliamentary or new MPs, also learning the procedures of the House or the August House. Now we also have where we will hear from the government budget reading and all, but this particular government has had an exercise of what we call the National Dialogue on the Economy. It has already happened. That happened last week. There's been, some statements that have been made after the national dialogue was held. Also, the president presented SONA last week as well, and I'm sure that's the state of the economy. You all have your opinions on what the state of the economy is, but as it were, is what the president presented. Tomorrow, we are going to be bombarded again by the budget, and it's going to be led by the finance minister. The finance minister has also undertook a certain number of exercises. He obviously partook in the national dialogue. Things were said at the committee. Some of them we know, but we can't just put it out until the communique itself comes out. And when it comes out, we'll discuss it. He's also gone into the markets to have, some interaction with the market women. Prior to the budget hearing, he wants to see how the market women are thinking. Okay, so that's some of the video, playing. The finance minister did this together with his deputy minister as well. Yesterday, he held an X-Space on one of the bloggers' pages, and we all, joined in and heard him or listened to some of the things he said. He said that the 2025 budget holds a key to economic recovery. So Finance Minister Dr. Kesilato Forson also underscored the significance of the 2025 budget and the policy statement in stabilizing Ghana's struggling economy. He asserted that the budget will serve as a crucial tool in addressing the country's economic challenges and laying the foundation of long-term recovery. Speaking during the youth engagement session on X Spaces hosted by Kali J on Sunday, Dr. Forson acknowledged that despite recent efforts, Ghana's financial situation remains fragile. And he cautioned against complacency, stating that, let me make this point, let's not deceive ourselves that the country is out of the woods yet. Our economy is still in distress. And the first thing we will need is to take measures to bring us to the stability that we deserve. He outlined the government's commitment to implementing policies aimed at fostering economic stability. These measures include efforts to control inflation, maintain stable exchange rates, and also create predictable economic environment. What we can do is to put together a framework where there will be a stable exchange rate, stable inflation, and stable economy. Now, Dr. Ishmael Yamson, who was also chairing the Economic National Dialogue, he said that, okay, so he's commended Ghanaians for setting aside political affiliations and demonstrating true nationalism during the two-day event. The former Unilever Ghana boss described the atmosphere as overwhelming, with participants focused solely on finding solutions to Ghana's economic challenges rather than pushing partisan agendas. Now, the people who were not there as NDC people or NPP people, so the people who were there were not there as NPP or NDC people. They came together genuinely to help Ghana solve problems, Dr. Yamson emphasized, and quote, and there were many people I know who are NPP members, but they came with a genuine desire to contribute. That's what Ghana needs, unquote. Reflecting on the level of commitment displayed, he admitted he was deeply moved. Quote, I was overwhelmed by the passion Ghanaians demonstrated in those days, unquote. All right, so that's just a bit about, you know, the ending of the national dialogue. He also said that Ghana's repeated financial struggle have led to seek support from the International Monetary Fund 17 times in its 68-year history, a pattern that former Unilever board says must end. So Dr. Ishmael Yamson was speaking on PM Express. He says that he warned the country must avoid a dreaded 18th bailout by resetting its economic trajectory. And we all hope that if we see, preparing to listen to the finance minister tomorrow, we want to see, you know, how it's going, because we've heard what the government says the state of the economy is. We've seen how the dialogue is also, you know, shaping or taking shape. We're yet to receive the communique after the dialogue, and then we'll see how the budget will also be presented tomorrow. Let's see how expectations are going. But you have tried to do, I think, an inclusive nature of resetting the economy, as you put it. Right. So let's hear from you. What exactly is happening?
Yes, first I'd like to commend the finance minister and all the good work that he's doing. I think that so far he's doing all the right things again. Ghanaians again voted for us to come and make some changes, as we ourselves call it, to reset the country, because they didn't like where the previous government was taking the country. President Mahama gave his State of the Nation's address. He talked about the current situation. He even said that Ghana is currently in the intensive care unit. And he said that based on all the economic indices. And I will even go ahead and say that Ghana is not only in the intensive care unit, but Ghana is in extremis and has a Glasgow coma scale of 3. So Ghana has a serious brain injury. So what we have to do is to reset the country. Now, the finance minister is doing all the right things. You know, he has gone to the market women who are, like you said earlier, or you alluded to in the beginning, that they are the economic backbone of the country. So he has gone to them to talk to them, to find out what their issues are and how best he can help them. He was on X yesterday, or formerly known as Twitter. He was on X yesterday speaking to a broad range of people. So all he's doing is getting consensus as to where people want the country to go and to listen to what the people have to say. Remember that even before that, President Mahama went around the country to listen to what people had to say and what they wanted his government to look like. And those are some of the issues they brought up that we put in the 2024 manifesto. So I applaud the finance minister. I also agree with Mr. Yamson that of everything he said. So the more important part is that during President Mahama's State of the Nation address, he actually told us where we are. He mentioned the 721 billion Ghana cedi debt that we are in now, and also mentioned that it matures in 2028. He said that out of it has 29.9 billion the financial market cleanup, yet we still have nothing to show for it. He told us where ECG was. He mentioned the energy sector. He went down to cocoa board, and he gave us a lot of statistics or economic indices where we are today. He also mentioned that in the next 4 years, we will have to service 280 billion Ghana cedi debt. And out of this, he went into details about how 150 and almost 130 billion is just external debt servicing. And he's saying that all these actually mature maybe starting next year. So it is true that we're in extremis. But after he gave us the gloomy picture of where we are now, where we are in the ICU, he then came up and said that he, President John Dramani Mahama, let me quote what he said, I, John Mahama, will fix the economic crisis confronting the country and reset it on the path of prosperity. So he has accepted the challenge, and he has promised that he will fix the challenges that we are facing. So we are waiting. For me, everything lies on what happens tomorrow in terms of the budget, because that is when we would know how much they actually have available, how much of our external debt they are paying, how much they are allocating to each sector of the government, and what are some of the plans that the finance minister has. Remember that the USAID has also withdrawn the money from all the programs they were doing in Ghana. So that's also a big hole in there. About, I think President Mahama told the finance minister to go and find that money to plug that hole in the budget. So as much as I admire Honorable Atuforsen, I still kind of feel a little bit sad for him because he has a huge task ahead. But as you can tell, he's ready to do the job. He has demonstrated, even by the economic dialogue that they had last week, as well as the way he's going about how he's managing the economy. I think that he's on the right path. I think that we should give him all the support. And I agree with Mr. Yamson that it should be non-partisan support or bipartisan support, and all of us should look to him to see how best he can help us get out of this hole. And once we get out of this hole, of course, the benefit is not just to NDC. The benefit is to Ghana. The benefit is to MPP, NDC, CPP, and all the political parties. We only have one country. And if this country is bankrupt, if the country is in the intensive care unit, if the country is in extremis, it's not only one political party people that suffer. We all suffer collectively. So I truly, truly believe that we should all support him and President Mahama. Let's look at some of the programs they're going to roll out tomorrow. Let's look at how much money he's allocating to all these sectors and see how best we can spend the money.
It has been, I think, people based on history are now really questioning. Yesterday on X, a lot of the youth that spoke questioned the source of funds for programs of government. They questioned free SHS, if we're still going to do school feeding program, yes, if we're still doing 100% government funding. They questioned Galamsey fight, how much we're put into it in terms of the fight. They questioned the Hajj village that we say we're building, where we're getting the money from. They questioned quite a number of the policies that you're bringing in, because we don't want a situation where you start rolling out policies and then we ask you, you don't tell us before we know we're in crisis. And you also had a 10% base pay for public servants. That has already been agreed upon. So there's so much you have done within, or you said, within a few months, but we're not yet told where the money is coming from, knowing how you have described the economy as being criminally managed.
Annie, thank you again. That is why I said I feel bad for the Honorable Minister, the Finance Minister, because like I said, the task is huge. You know, the request is huge. And as we all know, the gloomy picture of Ghana's economy, look at the cedi to dollar rate. It's still 15 point something as of yesterday at least. So we are in a very bad economic situation. But I'm only hoping that tomorrow he would have done his work and come out to us and tell us some good news. I'm really expecting a lot of good news, because I know that, because they know, see, in medicine, right, you can only find the medicine if you do the proper diagnosis. So if you don't diagnose the patient, for instance, the patient has breast cancer, and you are telling the patient that they have prostate cancer, you're going to be treating for prostate cancer when the actual problem is breast cancer. So first you have to properly diagnose the problem. And I think that what he has done in the first few days or months is just to find the problem and diagnose it. Now, once you've diagnosed the problem, the next thing is, how do you treat it? So tomorrow, we are looking for treatment. We are looking for, the patient is in the ICU. Now, what do we do with this patient? Yet, the family still has to eat. The family still has to put petrol in the car. The family has to take the kids to school, even though the breadwinner of the family is in the ICU. Now, what do we do now that, for instance, dad is in the ICU or mom is in the ICU? What do we do? How do we find resources? What monies have we kept somewhere? How do we even go back to our external creditors and go and beg and maybe ask for some? You know, President Mahama said that a lot of these loans that we're taking, by the way, we've been shut out of the external loan. You know, we can't go out and borrow anymore. But they had to go and renegotiate and even ask for a little bit of money to come back. So it's a very dicey situation he's in. We are in dire straits as a country. But I truly believe that they have done the correct diagnosis and that tomorrow it's going to be the treatment. This is what we do. We have to buy a ventilator. And if we buy the ventilator, how much medicines are we going to put? This is, maybe we shouldn't buy this expensive medicine, but we should buy a generic brand. You know, so I'm looking, as a surgeon, I'm looking at surgical precision. I'm looking at how best he's going to solve the problems or give us the solutions to the problem. Conduct the surgery. And the surgery is finished. Now we are looking at how do we heal the patient. So we are in the healing process. So tomorrow I'm excited. I can't wait. I'll be front and center. I'll sit like really close so I can hear every single thing. I'll write everything down because we are all, the whole country is going to be glued to our TVs tomorrow because we want to know what is the treatment. And I truly believe that President Mahama picked the right person with the right temperament, with the right knowledge, and he couldn't have gotten a better person for us now. So Ghanaians are hopeful. You mentioned the youth, especially the youth, because the reason why I even came into politics at one point is I just realized it was how I felt about the youth. I felt like their future was being squandered. And I felt like at one point they didn't have a voice. They needed somebody to speak for them. So I'm hoping that tomorrow this budget is going to be youth heavy, youth friendly. It's going to do the national apprenticeship programs. He's going to also help the schools. I want it to be youth heavy and youth friendly. And then the next group of people that I want this budget to really focus on is women. So I think once we do the youth, both boys and girls, and also the women, I think Ghana will be on the right trajectory. And that reset agenda that we came, and the reset agenda that Ghanaians voted for President John Dramani Mahama to come and reset the country will be effective. So it's now about the budget and how we implement it. But we are all ready to do that. We're ready to support any budget that comes out, and we're ready to really make sure that Ghana is set on the right path to prosperity.
Akosia, so in your case, I just want to know if you've followed all these activities leading to the budget hearing. During the SONA presentation, His Excellency actually called on the NPP to join and be a part of the national dialogue. But of course, obviously, as a party, you indicated that you're not going to be a part of it.
I think, so first of all, I think there's a lot of, I wouldn't say excitement. We're anticipating something very profound tomorrow. That in the budget that will be read, e-levy will be cancelled. All the taxes they listed during the campaign, which became their speaking notes across the country, all those things will be scrapped. I find it strange that an invitation was extended to the minority and the party as far as the economic dialogues were concerned. on the premise that he said was it a crime scene? What do you call it?
Yes.
The economy was a
criminally managed.
Criminally managed. And to think that to extend that invitation was to do it on the floor of Parliament when he was reading the address. There was no official invitation to the party or to the minority caucus to join the economic dialogue. None. Unless you can reference a letter inviting them. I do not think that
The
just
party didn't
saying
receive
so,
an invitation?
Nothing. Not that
that
I'm
you
aware
know
of. No invitation to the minority
Well, we're told
caucus
that you
officially.
received an invitation.
I haven't seen an invitation. It'll be easy. It'll be floating online. I just searched. I haven't seen anything.
Okay, we'll cross-check. We'll cross-check.
And then I think what is important is you've had an economic dialogue. You've touted yourselves as having had a very successful one. What were the outcomes? The conversations from it was that they were interested in what Ghanaians had to say as far as solutions were concerned. I thought it would take the form of, okay, so we campaigned on this. We submitted a manifesto saying that we will create a 24-hour economy. A 24-hour economy should not birth sucking youth from government agencies, young people who've duly gone through processes to get employment. What has the 24-hour economy, which is synonymous with creating opportunities and jobs in the system, have to do with sucking young people from their jobs? So we're campaigning and preaching one thing, and we come into government and we do something entirely different. And people make the argument that, oh, MPP did the same in 2017. I do not recall as such a broad brush of literally resetting, as he said, clear every single person you can find who is even MPP that has been employed. They make the argument that was post December 7th. In some agencies, they've gone as far back as 2023. People come to work and they are giving them letters. They're actually going through month by month, sucking people from their jobs. So how is it a reset? Then clearly we are back to the dark days where you never know what is going to happen to you when you show up at your workplace. Now, the budget...
Were you saying that you do not recall when you as a government, sacked people?
No, I'm saying that when people make the argument that we did sing, the argument is that he promised that even if you felt we did wrong, he promised, and there are videos to that effect, him saying that he's not going to let anybody go. They are all Ghanaians, and he promises that when he comes into power...
He promised that he's not going to let anybody go.
He's not going to sack people. He said this. JM said it. There are videos to it. You can't feign ignorance on this.
No, he said it. He
said, I'm not going to sack, I'm not going to let people go. I'm not going to sack people. If I'm not quoting verbatim, that was a communication that he gave, that he's not going to sack.
That's the interpretation you got.
So who was he going to sack?
That's the interpretation you got. Because there's been the argument of transition notice. If you send your transition letters and your information, did you state in the transition that we are in the process of employing so and so number of people?
I mean, people went through processes as far as May, June, July, got their letters in December. Some got it December 7th, if you may. If it's even possible, as is being stated, that those appointments were in December 7th.
Did the government to government, did you state
capture it?
Yes, did they capture it?
In the transition, during the transition process, even weeks after they had won, the chief of staff indicated that nobody should hire. Right? The chief of staff actually let, in the first of its history, actually, because I never cited a letter like that, to which people said, why? Because they have gone through the processes already. What is wrong with that? You are coming to champion a 24-hour economy. You are going to create jobs. If for nothing at all, you are confident in the policy you are going to roll out. If it's not just rhetoric, then you clearly have a plan. So tomorrow in the budget, we want to see what that plan is. The best definition I got to 24-hour economy was actually thanks to John Dumelo on how do you call it, during his vetting. I've sat with people all through last year, they couldn't articulate what it was. John captured it well, and I hope that tomorrow we'll see it. But I want to see the levy scrapped. I want to see the so-called COVID levies that they mentioned, that they said is embedded in everything, every single thing, including the 263 economic policies that they made, want to see the foundations of it tomorrow in the budget. And you see, there's a very subtle attempt, very sneaky attempt to reference what is happening as far as Donald Trump has steps he's taken in scrapping all these grants and aids, and yes, and saying that there's a tough decision for the finance minister, and how is he going to navigate it? Nobody saw a pandemic happening. We said, look, this has derailed the gains we made economically. Even despite those challenges, we still have successes that this government chalked, even after that blow. So whatever challenges are happening in America, we have to find a way. Ghanaians are asking for solutions. We spoke about, Galamsey was one of the biggest issues against the previous government. As we speak, Annie, people are throwing their hands up in despair, giving up. Why? Look at what happened after the December 7th. Look at what happened with people, thugs, goons, raiding people's homes. There are people that didn't take to the media to explain, to even chronicle their ordeal. We saw people moving to state agencies with all sorts of weapons. As we speak, there are vigilante groups that have invaded mining sites in the name of our party is in power. Where they got the weapons from, we can only reference that they got those weapons in the event that December 7th, God forbid, that it would say that, oh, MPP had won power. They were going to take power by force. Now these guys are armed, and with impunity, they are raiding mining sites. And we know this. Leaders of the groups are well-known NDC persons. What is being said about that? Which definitely then means that it wasn't that you hated what people were doing in the MPP, but you wanted to be the one to do it. You were criticizing not because you felt it was wrong, but you felt that it was your right to do it. So you come into power, your vigilante groups have now invaded mining forests. The journalist who has been consistent, Erastus, I believe is your colleague, took to his social media to say the threats on his life and all these things that are coming at him, consistently updating us on what is happening, and there's not been a clear solution to handle it, because the people you gave the weapons to are the ones holding it to your head, telling you that, well, you're not going to give us jobs in your government institutions, so we are going to make sure that we also earn a keep, and that is to raid these sites. Annie, somebody made a suggestion on radio today, and I think I'll be happy to see it if it would happen, that there are persons behind these Galamsey acts. There are people who seemingly look innocent, businessmen, whatever, and they're the ones funding these activities. Put a freeze on their accounts. Put a freeze on their accounts. Otherwise, the tag that he wants to say that is a criminally supervised economy, then he indeed has embraced it. Because as we speak, this is a criminally supervised governance with vigilante groups with known leaders that the NDC knows that have invaded forests and are doing the unthinkable.
Is that activity wrong?
Is that activity wrong? Of course. No permits, nothing. Look at what happened in Obuasi.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Okay.
If you call us, if you say that this is what we did, and on the back of it, when you come, you do differently. And this time, not only are you doing worse, but you've armed your people to do this. What impunity? Where do they get the audacity to do what they are doing? It means that to the very top,
Galamsey boys is not me.
It's, you see, to the very top, when people say that, it is shocking. At best, I didn't see any known vigilante head, MPP leader, on the ground with a weapon. Even as we speak,
you didn't see
beyond
the story of the same Erastus.
Annie, if you said it was bad for us,
you mentioned
and you came, if you said it was bad for us, you highlight what you achieved in 120 days, and within 120 days, even less than 4 weeks, MPs in these areas are throwing their hands up in despair because the people are telling us that. But when you came to campaign, there's a video to that effect. You told us that you will allow us to do it. On what permits are they being allowed? So if yes, we are being accused of having done sin, and you have the opportunity to reset it, it is not to see that you actually, since we'll be using, how do you call it, medical terms all morning, put it on steroids for them to do the worst. It is wrong, wrong is wrong. We should call it out, because at the end of the day, these weapons that are in the system that they gave these people will turn against them. And when it does, nobody is going to say anything in defense of them. It seems to be a very glorious honeymoon period. And yes, but it would move on. And when it moves on, the propaganda will be seen to be the lies for which they keep telling us. We're talking about, another thing I want to see is power cuts or doomsday as we've seen it. I listened to the energy minister, and he said that we're exporting 300 megawatts of power as we speak, and that there's no load shedding because we are meeting that. We all know there are built agreements that have been there since even Akosombo Dam was built. That's export to happen. But people are crying that the lights are going on for a long period of time, and it seems almost routine. Give us the reasons why. It's not to say that we're exporting so. Tomorrow, I want to see a clear response on that, on what we're experiencing.
Do you have information on what the NPP left behind as far as energy is concerned?
Oh, the information.
Because if you want to have power security, at least you should have some 6 months.
Let me give you, as we speak,
breathing space.
The new government is embracing themselves and clapping for themselves on a new power plant similar to Ituabo. We initiated that process. So if that process started to actually augment our generation, then indeed for them to continue means it's a good thing. So that is a legacy right there.
No, but that's a plant. I'm talking about power reserve, as in what we left behind, so that we can, at least the nation can depend on, at least for 6 months.
We generate power every day, and we generate power based on what systems we put in place. And I'm telling you that as we are speaking, one of the things that we did was realizing that liquid fuel was more expensive than gas. So that is why that plant, I believe it's called Train 2, will be coming on board. And when it comes on board, we should know that its antecedent or its generation or its idea started under the NPP government. We do not store power and say that we are sharing it as and when. If we were doing same, then it means that we will even have power cuts. If you are talking about debt, they left us debt. We also left some debt. Everybody leaves debt behind. You have to manage it. So the excuses have to end at a point. And I think that Ghanaians will soon get tired, because I see the fatigue, and it's almost becoming the same cycle. Like already giving an alley-oop to them as an excuse as far as US issues are concerned. Even captured in, and I'm saying excuses are a thing of the NDC, captured in his own SONA address after he was duly elected into power in 2013 SONA. He was referencing high economic, economic challenges, inflation, whatnot. He was a vice president at the time. So tomorrow, let us see and hear that you have scrapped the taxes that you said were draconian and were a burden to the Ghanaian. Let us see that your 24-hour economy, you have actually laid down the foundation, and it's not just PR. Okay. Let us see that as far as power is concerned, we'll be truthful as to where we are and what we plan to do. Let us see that the things that you said, we're not going to hang it on excuses that are happening in America. Because when we told you that a once-in-a-100-year issue had happened, you told us that no, it was neither here nor there because we got support. So those are the things that we want to see. We have to fix the problems, less excuses, less propaganda. Let's stop the propaganda and actually govern. Because we want to actually see, I want to see them succeed. There are people that voted against the NPP because of e-levy. Scrap it. We have to help them scrap it. There are people that voted against the NPP because of betting tax. Scrap it. There are people that hope to see that the small, the short window of power challenges that we experienced in the first quarter of last year, they don't want to see it again. Even though you kept us in the dark.
A short window of power challenges.
Yes, we had challenges last year.
There was a short window.
It was 3 months. It's been 120 days. It's been 120 days. Okay. So if we look at the amount of time, then certainly they have an opportunity. Yes. So reset is not sucking people from their workplaces. Okay. Reset is not weaponizing your vigilante groups to invade forest and mine.
I'll give it a chance.
Reset is ensuring that the continuous progress that we all hope to push in and out of government continues. It's not to sack young people from their jobs and then say that it was time in which they were employed. That is a problem.
Right. Prof, sorry, I'll come to you. So in your 120 days social contracts, this is what was captured on illegal mining. It says ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves, roll out, which I know that there's been a halt of issuing new licenses for mining. Activities in forest reserves, roll out Tree for Life and Blue Water Initiative to heal and sustainably harness the environment by turning areas and water bodies degraded by illegal mining into economic, ecological recovery hubs. This was what was captured in the social contract. So we'll be getting into that. Prof, let me take a quick breath. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going to look at that.
As soon as he wrote the thing, he came immediately back. There has been a swift action taken against the report, and that tells me the president doesn't support this action.
Okay. What was that?
So hold on. You understand? So as soon as he brought it, a swift, it's less than an hour. He put it out yesterday. Yes. He just said there has been swift action. So I saw it this morning. No, I saw it last night. Okay. So it was less than an hour after he posted it yesterday.
So I'm going to play to you maybe excerpts of the video
President Mahama
put out yesterday.
He's
had
not
to do
interested.
With some invasion
Mahama
of
has
new,
stopped it.
Yeah,
so
new invasion
I will not
of forest
engage
reserves.
in rumors and innuendos and conjecture and ad hominem.
I'll get back.
Issue,
we'll get into
President Mahama is solving the issue.
The facts
yesterday, last week I drove over the Pra.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don't some slippers then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did it from there.
Yeah?
Happiness mattress where the dead for.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
In an era where fire safety is paramount, Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited stands out as a leader in the development of innovative fire dousing solutions. With a focus on aqueous film forming foam, the company provides a cutting-edge product that significantly enhances fire suppression capabilities across various sectors, including maritime, industrial and emergency response.
The oil and gas sector, along with chemical manufacturing facilities and fire services.
Kabori's advanced film technology offers a more efficient and environmentally responsible alternative.
Kabori is recognized for its superior extinguishing capabilities and prolonged resistance to reignition. Kabori's product is certified by the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Nigerian Standards Organization.
Kabori Film Compound Limited is situated in Nsawam within the eastern region of Ghana. For inquiries, reach out to them on 0245-885-288 or 0244-514-048. You may also contact them via email at info@kaborifilm.com. Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited, providing film compound solutions to help institutions.
Customer, I don't know who who say.
Malaria been actually me, man. No more drama, man. Still.
Ah, one of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah. Sorry. What rest of so give us here and turn down.
But you give us some. But for me to give us the and turn down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me patron the and turn down.
Customer. Give us a turn down.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no bonu fo nom akwada wa ni fie dumie no ono nso nom.
You the answer to my prayer. You with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Mommy.
Michelle say. Fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco toothpaste, Sankofa,
Yenchi, Kel Choco toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRICOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the IRICOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRICOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. So, it's good morning, Ghana. But the video you saw is just a latest that was put out by Erastus Asare-Donkor, and this is what he wrote. He says that this was taken about 40 minutes ago. That's about the time he posted, which was yesterday. This is a fresh illegal invasion of the tunnel in Uya Forest Reserve. These people are illegal miners with high-profile backing. To be able to have access to such a reserve without a license is almost impossible unless you have powerful people in government. The President, Mr. President, this is not what you promised Ghanaians. Some of us fought this kind of impunity in the previous administration, so the new government can save our forests. There are currently 5 groups like these in this forest reserve to destroy it without any license. Okay, like this in this forest reserve to destroy it without any license. It says that as we speak, another group has also entered the Tano or Datano section of the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve. Mr. President, if this does not have backing of power giving you by Ghanaians, then I expect this illegality to be vanquished. And that's the back information that he gave this morning, which you were referring to this morning. All right, you can take your turn.
Just, you know, Erastus Asare-Donkor is one of the few journalists that I follow closely, and I've liked what he's doing. I'm so glad that this is not the past government era, because otherwise, you know what they did to him previously, right? Otherwise, it would have been worse that he dared to speak against a president and also mention the president's name on Facebook.
That's not true.
That is
regarding the way he called him out.
Regarding the way he called him out.
No.
If this had happened in the Akufo-Addo government, you know what would have happened, right? We know what they did to the City FM. You know what they did to Anas. You know how, what's his name, Ahmed Swale. Remember what they did to journalists, raided people's homes and destroyed people's equipment. So I am just so glad that thankfully Ghanaians have now voted out that old government and have brought in a new government where a journalist can call out the president and the president takes action rather than going after the journalist. So it is a good era for Ghanaians and especially for Ghanaian journalism. Everybody should be excited that now we have President John Dramani Mahama, the giant of Gonja, who is now in charge of the country and is going to help us. So I'm glad. So Erastus, we are on it, and I'm so glad that you are in the forest and you're pointing these things out. We really are appreciative of your work. Thank you. Now, when we talk about mining in the forest reserves, I went to a program that was set up by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. That was last week, Honorable Ama Kofi-Boa. And some of the statistics I heard were very scary. The number of forests that have been impacted in terms of our forest reserves are 43 out of 288. And in all of these, they have been like different alerts. The red alert forests are like 9 that has red alert. That means that the action in those forests have gone so far that there's not even much we can even do to restore those forests. So he said that the size of our forest reserves that is being decimated is about 7,000, is about the size of 7,504 standard football pitches. So again, when we talk about mining, what the previous government has put us through in terms of galamsey and illegal mining is unconscionable. Our water bodies have been destroyed, especially in the Western region. We even had government officials that were involved in the galamsey in the Western region. Thankfully, President Mahama is here, and he said he's going to bring all those people to book. Like I said, last week I flew over the River Pra and the solution to 1 bucket of water. Today they are using 10 times the same amount of solution to the same bucket of water. Now, the treatment they are treating is actually only even treating the turbidity. It's not even treating the chemicals that these galamseyers have put it inside the water. They are putting arsenic, they are putting mercury, they are putting cyanide, putting arsenic, they are putting mercury, they are putting cyanide. These chemicals are all what we call in medicine teratogenic and carcinogenic. When you say teratogenic, that means that the woman that is pregnant, if she ingests any of these chemicals, is going to lead to 1, stillbirths, premature birth, and when the child is born, most of the kids will be deformed. Even where the child, the body and everything is not deformed, it can affect the child's brain. So the child looks okay, but the brain has been affected. So we're going to have a lot of trisomies and children with deformities being born. And when you look at all these villages along these water bodies, we have started seeing that in the hospitals already.
So yesterday, when I had a chance to ask a question to the minister, I actually made it clear that obviously what galamsey is doing now is that it has an effect on the now and it has an effect on the future.
Thank you.
On the now is how it is destroying our lands, cocoa lands. Last year we had about 100,000 hectares of cocoa lost to galamsey. We are now struggling with water situation, which we've been served with a notice of importing water. We're now having to deal with babies with deformities. That has to do with the future. So we are literally destroying the whole.
The babies with deformities is now. The future is a cancer. It's a carcinogenic.
Oh,
so that means that in the future, we're going to see a rise in cancer.
Okay.
We're going to see a rise in skin cancer. We're going to see a rise in kidney cancers that we don't even have treatments for. So these are going to be rare cancers that are not even in the system now. So these are emerging cancers that are coming that our health system might not even be ready to handle. That doesn't include the skin conditions. That doesn't even include the fish itself. So even some of these chemicals are being found in our crops. Because remember that these chemicals, they leach and they seep into the soil itself. So pretty soon, even some of these, where we're exporting our crops, our cash crops, they will start finding some of these chemicals, traces of these chemicals in it, and it might be the reason why we cannot even sell in the EU, or we cannot take some of our crops to the US. So this galamsey issue, this is the previous president who staged, what did he say? I will stake my presidency on solving the galamsey. Remember when it was rhetoric? Remember when President Akufo-Addo didn't mean the things he said? That is what has led us here today. That is why he said, Party Hieska. Remember the,
who said Party Hieska?
President Akufo-Addo said it. Remember what's his name?
He's not the one that said
the gentleman, the surgeon.
No.
Remember the surgeon?
Prof. President Akufo-Addo never said Party Hieska.
Okay, Party Hieska is the guy. Remember the surgeon from
It was Prof in that video, in the galamsey video.
Exactly.
Yes,
no,
but not Nana Akufo-Addo.
The galamsey, what's his name? Frimpong Boate.
Professor Frimpong Boate, yes.
Yes, him. Remember the report that he put out?
Yes.
He actually even mentioned people in the Flagstaff House. He mentioned people and sent this report to the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. What did he do? Nothing. So today, I'm just surprised that they are even all up in arms worrying about what President Mahama would do. You saw Erastus Asari Donko's post As soon as he finished, not less than 30 minutes to an hour later, he came back and said, thank you, Mr. President, for swiftly responding to this issue. So, Mr. President, John Dramani Mahama is a listening president. Mr. President, John Dramani Mahama is the president that is going to solve that Galamsey issue. Mr. President, John Dramani Mahama is the one that is going to give us the water that we have lacked for the last 8 years. Is the president that is going to make sure that our food security or our food is secured. He is the president that is going to make sure that our children are not deformed. He is the president that is going to make sure that we don't have future cancers. He is the president that is going to ensure that kidney diseases are trending downwards. That is the president who has stated and said that I, John Dramani Mahama, I will fix the problems in this country.
So he has indicated that if you know that you want to deal in mining activities or Galamsey, you have to exit his government.
Thank you.
I hope that he's looking through, because there are allegations and counter allegations against officials, not officials, but persons in NDC. I won't say officials because he hasn't appointed them, but there are some persons.
It's not an NDC NPP problem. Although President Akufo-Addo went all the way and helped them destroy all our forests, at least how many of them? 43 out of 288. This is in the last 8 years, these numbers I'm talking about. So although he stood by and watched that thing happen, President Mahama is saying that it doesn't matter who you are. He's saying that it doesn't matter you are in his government. It doesn't matter who you are. He is going to solve the problem. He is going to stop Galamsey. He's going to restore our water. He's going to make sure our food is secure. The man stood in Parliament at the State of the Nation's address and said that I, John Dramani Mahama, will fix the problem. He didn't say, oh, the other guy didn't do the work, but me too, I'm waiting and see what will happen. He said, no, it has happened. But from the moment I became president, all these issues will stop. He is not like the other guy who staked his whole entire presidency on stopping Galamsey, but was implicitly or explicitly, or
I like the way you're putting it,
or allegedly actively involved in the Galamsey itself, the Galamsey kingpin, allegedly. This is not John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
So let us wait for him to read his budget tomorrow. Let us wait for President John Dramani Mahama and Atuforsen tomorrow to come and tell us.
Okay.
But as soon as he saw this thing on the social media, he sent people there to stop it. So this implication that NDC members, weren't we here when Ayawaso West happened? Armed security in Ghana at the polling station. Weren't we here in this country when 8 people were shot at gunpoint?
We do Galamsey at Ayawaso.
Regular Ghanaians who were just going to the polls were shot, and even the president himself said nothing. Weren't we here when in Esikado
he set up a committee for investigation?
And then he scuffled or put the paper, the documentation, the recommendations under his bed. Weren't we here when in Esikado Ketan 2020 Collation Center, there were 16 armed militia and they shot 3 people and wounded them? Who said something?
But
Annie, please, when it comes to vigilante, when it comes to vigilante,
I'm not see if it's the right thing.
Annie, when it comes to vigilante,
I cannot prove that those who were on the mining sites or the Galamsey sites
that is what I'm trying to say.
NDC,
thank you.
But they were armed.
That is the point I'm trying to say. So
let's
not sit here.
No, I can't.
Let's not sit here without any.
Certain things can
I finish, please? Let's not sit here, Annie.
You can use as a basis to maybe allege, but you cannot really.
Can I finish? Okay. So let's not sit here and attribute this to some political party without any evidence. So as I said earlier, I am not going to involve myself in conjecture. I'm not going to involve myself in rumors and innuendos and also ad hominem attacks.
Okay.
We are here because President Mahama said
Facebook people,
he is now the president of the country and he's going to fix it.
Facebook viewers are also prompting us on a TV sound. So please check for me and give me feedback if we have an issue with sound.
President Mahama said,
we're told that it's been fixed. I hope so. We're told it's been fixed.
He said he will fix the problem, Annie. Tomorrow they're going to read the budgets. The water bodies are going to recover. He's going to swiftly move in. If anybody brings any more evidence that they're in the forest reserves are going to be turned around. We're going to plant trees. We are also going to monitor the river bodies with water guards who are going to make sure that the margin of error where even the legal miners are mining is not close to any river body. Annie, please, this matter is not NDC MPP.
Okay.
Even though we are aware of what happened in the last 8 years.
Okay.
So let's not sit here and attribute things to NDC with zero evidence. We are here because we want to inform your audience. We are here because we want to make cogent arguments. We are here because we want to substantiate our points. So please, Ghanaians want to hear what is the way forward. Ghanaians are not here. He said, she said, you did this, I did this. They are here for President Mahama to come and effect some of the policies that he has promised them, and that is what we are all here to do. We will support President John Dramani Mahama to effect his policies, to stop Galamsey, to reset the country on the right trajectory, so that Ghanaians, all of us, including NDC, NPP, CPP, we can enjoy this country, the only country that we have.
So this is what Erastus wrote in his last, paragraph when he was running up on his statement. He says that, Mr. President, if this does not have the backing of the power given you by Ghanaians, then I expect this illegality to be vanquished. Now, after he wrote that, this is when the authority moved in. A collaborative operation between a rapid response unit of the Forestry Commission and the Ghana Armed Forces has resulted in the seizure of 10 excavators, a bulldozer, and the arrest of 4 individuals, including involved in the illegal mining within the Tano Anya forest in the Western North region. The crackdown carried out on Sunday, 9th March 2025, targeted compartments 17 and 20 of the reserve, following repeated incursions by illegal miners despite previous eviction efforts. Prior to this, the 4th of March operation staff from the Enchi Forest District alongside Forestry Commission Rapid Response Team had raided the reserve, forcing out 12 excavators being used for illegal mining. And there's one thing that this government started doing that really confused me at some point, by burning excavators. So they also came and they were continuing. So I think His Excellency moved in and said, stop burning the excavators. They've started seizing them. Yes. We don't want to hear that the excavators are missing. Let me just make that clear.
Okay, so can I come back and have the opportunity to speak? Thank you very much.
Excavators will not be missing.
20 minutes of roundabout. And interestingly, even though it said that it's not an MPP NDC issue, I cringed when I heard it. I attempted to label Nana Akufo-Addo as a Galamsey kingpin. Indeed, we are seeing power-sponsored Galamsey. Vigilante groups with leaders, known NDC leaders, who spoke against it. As we speak, Annie, Erastus, I have all his posts and screenshots, and even though he's updated that they have moved in, how long did it take before they moved in? How long? He has stated clearly on the 20th of, let me go to that post, 30th of January. He says, let it be on record. If anything happens to me or any members of my family, this man knows something about it. Threats that have been coming to him, even on his social media, he posted it. This is happening under John Dramani Mahama. So for us to sit here and make it look like the things that happened are peculiar.
Which man was he referring to?
Please, let me finish. You can bring your questions later.
No, I want
when she mentioned, look, there's a habit and is predominant on this station, and with how it is the paneling is always 2 against 1. But let me land. She said that the water quality was 5,000 worse, 5,000 times worse.
Pause.
Am I going to be allowed to flow?
I think
because when she's speaking, you do not interject.
You're very unfair. You're being unfair to me.
Okay.
We are being very careful in all the analysis we're making. And what you say, just substantiate it.
I'm building my point. If you come, if you enter, I said he posted threats on his life. When did this happen? It happened on 30th of January. Who is in power? After 30th of January, who is in power? To make it look like he didn't even have the opportunity to criticize the previous government. He did. Erastus continuously made a critique of the previous government on Galamsey. And I'm saying that as we speak, same Erastus that we believed was giving us evidence, factual, based on what he had seen then, now is telling us that vigilante groups headed by NDC people are the ones that have invaded the forest. She didn't tell us that it's not vigilante groups. She didn't tell us that they didn't have weapons. All she's saying is that it's conjecturing and innuendo. When he favored them, Erastus was right. Now it is when he said that they have moved into the site that he complained about, it means that John Mahama is listening. Indeed. We sat here when she said the water quality is 5,000 times worse. Ghana Water Quality Assessment, I don't know if your producer would like to show it, I'll forward it to you and show you. From 2012 to 2021, it's here. From 2012, if viewers will see. From 2012 to 2021, it showed red consistently. Who was in power then? That was JM season 1. Now we're in season 2, episode 3, the 3rd month. And Galamsey is a problem. We sat here, I've never condoned Galamsey activities. Because at the end of the day, it affects us, it has far-reaching consequences. When we talk about cancer, look at the problem we had as far back as 2012.
What's the year you're referring to?
Did we not have, I'll forward it to you if you can show.
I just want the year so I can do the research.
Oh, it's here. From 2012, 2013, 2014, they have it here. Okay. They have 10 years of it here. They've listed all the water bodies here. And you can see, from red, one was consistently red till it turned blue in 2019. Who was in power then? So let's know if we are going to make it, we are not going to make it a partisan argument, then you dare not call the Nana Akufo-Addo a Galamsey kingpin. How dare anyone say that? When we saw how he fought, in fact, he was the only president who fought so hard, even his party was fighting him when he was fighting Galamsey. That's how bad it is. The only solution that somebody has preferred, which I feel will be the one thing that will let people back off. Freeze the accounts of the people backing these activities. After all, it's money that they use to finance it. Take the money off the table and let's see if they'll still have opportunities to do what they are doing. Galamsey is a problem. You told us that it was. You told us that we are the ones doing it. In less than 120 days, that 120 of which the things you said you do, you've not even achieved a quarter. Power-sponsored Galamsey in the forest reserves, power-sponsored Galamsey with vigilante groups looking at us in the face to tell us that you told us that we will be allowed to mine. What are you saying now? They have guns. How dare you confront them and tell them they're not to do it? So this action they've taken, I hope it continues. As we speak, the Western Regional Minister also issued a statement. He said that the Chinese have and I don't know if you've seen it, the Chinese have 1 week. He said Western Regional Minister gives Chinese firm 1 week ultimatum to cease polluting river at Nankore. Somebody is polluting a river body. You are telling him that 1 week ultimatum, meaning that they have to run.
Pollute until 1 week.
Yes, run rough short. Do your worst. I'm giving you 1 week. Do the best that you can and leave. Now back to a particular quote that I saw, which is quite telling as far as us sitting here and we have to believe that something will be done. And this is the solution. And I believe that the solution rests with the NDC now. Sam George replied to somebody on X when it came to revoking the license, the LI, as far as some mining communities are concerned, mining companies are concerned. His response to the guy was that, I wish you were right, but you are so wrong. Now let me show you the difference you are speaking about, you are asking about. What allows for Galamsey in forest reserves is the LI which was brought about by President Akufo-Addo and laid by Honorable Abu Jinapo. You do not vote on an LI when it is laid. It automatically becomes law after 21 days. You can also only overturn it if you have 185 MPs voting against it. We need 47 MPP MPs to join the 137 NDC MPs to overturn it. My understanding of it is that all 137 MPs, as at September 2024, were against this LI, but they needed the numbers to overturn it. Without that, no individual MP can do anything. You know who to blame. Be bold and call them out simple. Okay, we admit that Galamsey happened on our tether. We admit that I, for instance, on every single media platform that I've been on, have said that this is a cancer that has been hurting us for so long. And anybody that comes into power, most notorious is John Dramani Mahama, whose own minister gave up on Galamsey fight. They now have 185 MPs, clear majority, overturn the LI. Then we know that yes, it is criminal to go into any forest and mine. He made the excuse that they do not have the numbers. Now he does. 185. Overturn it. Then we know that indeed you are fighting Galamsey.
Yeah, but it's one of the promises they gave.
Wonderful. So let's see that happen. And it shouldn't, the way we sat here clapping that Erastus's claim, Erastus's quest to halt their activities has been listened to by the government and is actually commending the president for that. Then let's see that commitment to the fight. You have a clear majority now. Overturn it.
Okay. Just a quick one. Let me read some of the messages that came through during the discussion. Mansa Musa from UK sent something. He said that, Annie, I'm getting worried, getting very bothered here. Not long ago, Akosua would say, okay, the NPP communicators would say, we shouldn't make Galamsey NPP NDC. Today, this morning, the NDC communicator is repeating the words. So, Annie, my name is Mansa Musa. This insincere and clinical behavior must stop. Erastus told me on my show that he's been told of a Galamsey site belonging to an NDC chairman. Why has that chairman not been arrested? NDC was voted, I think I read that report last week, that NDC was voted into power to correct mistakes made by Akufo-Addo and his people, and not just talk about it. Campaign is over, we need action, and quickly. Thanks. Good morning to you. Thank you, Mansa Musa. Good morning to you. Joint Forestry Commission military operation seized 10 excavators. Okay, I've seen the story, but and I've read it. You say that we didn't hear anything from you. Read from your phone after the break. Please, I read it. I read a story a few minutes ago, but you didn't add your name to your message. Hello, Annie, please. We can't hear you. Oh, sorry. The sound thing? Okay, the sound is fixed. This was some minutes ago. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry about that sound hitch. Mr. Harris in Timisa has sent a message. Says, good morning. I'm watching you. I thought you were sending something on Metro. I've seen your message. Thank you, Mr. Harry. Good morning, Annie. I think this is from Evans Dinko Garu. He says, Annie, I think this time Ghanaians should begin to name, shame, condemn any party CSOs, senior citizens who refuse in participating in recent held dialogue in the future bipartisan program government intend to organize. The MPP is worse culprit for refusing to participate in any dialogue that intends to build resilient and prosperous Ghana, even when it's their own call. Since Dr. Nkrumah's time, the UP never participated in any dialogue organized by Nkrumah, and by boycotting everything. Come in 1992 Consultative Assembly to draw our fourth Republican Constitution, the NPP boycotted it. Come to President Kufuor's NPP era, he called for a reconciliation forum to unite Ghana from the excesses of the past military regime that brutalized innocent citizens. Everybody participated. Professor Mills came with a consensus. The NPP issued a boycott to notice to their members not to attend, and notice their members not to attend. It's only Osafo Mafo who defied that directive, you say. Okay, then came the setting up of COVID-19 Health Committee, a national character during the 2020 COVID outbreak. The Akufo-Addo government ignored all opposition parties and CSOs and went ahead to find a committee with only NPP members. Guess the stinking corruption that bedeviled the outcome. Last week, NDC John Mahama called for a national dialogue and to get a superior roadmap and solutions to our socio-economic problems facing the economy. The same NPP refused to participate. Let Ghanaians call them, shame and condemn them for the selfish and unpatriotic act he always puts up. You see, NPP must change their self-centered. Evans Dinko Garu sent that in. That was a long one, but But thanks. Okay. Good morning. Was there anything wrong with any paragraph wrong?
Like the way you committed to reading such. Because I'll be sending lengthy messages like that.
I will not be replying you this morning. This morning, I won't give you replies. Good morning, Annie. Good morning to your ladies on the set. You are all looking awesome this morning. Thank you. Akosia has recovered pretty quickly. I am impressed. There you have it.
I'm very
with
tough.
Unlimited funds. Hey, boy, all things possible. Thank you for your message. This one also says that Komna Dikoka. Oh, good morning to you. I haven't heard from you in a while. Good morning, Annie. Please tell our sister Akosia that we're 55 days in power. And they were there for 8 years and nothing happened.
Whose name is that?
Kopna Adekoka, former chairman. Yes.
Chairman. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What excuse is that?
Tell her we'll solve the problems and reset the economy. She should start talking after 12 months. Too early to start the propaganda.
Culture of silence.
Okay. Okay. Margot says Akosia never understands 24-hour economy because she was busy with her dental campaign. Thank God she finally understood it after she lost the seat.
Tell her congratulations. John Dumelo helped me understand it. It was the most simple explanation. So now we are waiting for the fundamentals.
It's very good for her because suddenly she hears and understands. Yeah, it's very Margot, good morning to you, and we all wish you all the best in your new office.
Yes, I wish her well.
Did Mahama ask the NPP to recruit people for 24-hour economy? Sampiala is asking. Lawyer Eko Vincent, I said, for good morning to you. Okay, he sent a video. My time is up. I don't know.
I know you won't play the video.
No, my time is up.
But you can play the video.
They'll cut you off. They'll cut you off. So OPK says that, regards to Dr. Baumia, he says the illegal mining going on under Mahama and NDC 2 months in office is unprecedented, with NDC gurus threatening the life of the arrested Saridonko, allegedly, please. Because of his reports or reportage on NDC gurus illegal mining, attacking and harassing journalists, NDC gurus in 2 months, you say.
More than 80% of global trade is carried by sea. Most of the products we consume daily travel through ports, making them a key link in the global supply chain. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority